The Jazz Mini phone and tablet stand from Cooler Master is now available in a variety of cool colors from these great retailers. Click now to learn more. The original Grid from NZXT alleviated cable management and fan power headaches by allowing users to plug all of their fans into a single Molex connector. The issue with it is that it only splits 12-volt power rather than allowing the fans to actually be controlled. So the only way to run it anything other than full speed is to figure out a high-quality inline fan controller solution or rewire the connector to 7 volts or 5 volts. So that's where the Grid Plus comes in. It costs double or triple depending on the retailer you shop at for the same 30-watt power limit, but it adds DC fan control to the capability of the original Grid through NZXT's CAM software, which is available for your PC or smartphone. Although, why you'd ever need to control your fan speed from an iPhone is far beyond the capabilities of my very obviously too small brain to comprehend. Anyway, physically, it's a fan controller. So there's not a lot to say. It's got a white top power LED, 6 side-mounted 3-pin fan headers, and a slight plastic overhang so you don't have to stare at the wires, even though the included ones are thankfully all black. It's got a USB input and a power jack, and included in the box you'll get a micro USB to internal header, as well as a Molex to power cable for the ports that I just mentioned. You'll also get 5 zip ties, a 3M dual lock square for stealthy mounting, and 2 fan extension/Y cables that allow a 4-pin and a 3-pin fan to be connected to a single power port at the same time, which demonstrates NZXT is aware that some folks plug 4-pin PWM fans into 3-pin sources and use DC control on them, which raises the question, NZXT, why didn't you address my original complaint about the Grid and make them all 4-pin this time? Anyway, enough stalling for time here. Let's cut to Luke to tell you guys exactly how it works.
So setting up the unit is fairly simple. You plug in the USB cable, you plug in the Molex power, you plug in all your fans, but then you need the software. So I went to NZXT's website and clicked on the downloads button under the Grid Plus's product page, and it brought me to a download section of wallpapers, not CAM software. What? Anyways, you can go to the CAM section of their webpage and download it there because it works for all of your devices. I guess they didn't decide to have it under the download section of individual devices, but I would like to maybe see that in the future. Next up is fan curves. They have a few default ones like performance or silent, and they also have manual where you can kind of just set everything to a very specific speed that it will always run at. Or, like I expect most of you to use, they have a custom curve. And setting up the custom curve is actually pretty nice. Whenever you plot a point along the graph and you try to move it, it's very clear as to what you're moving it to. You know exactly what percentages you're running at. And that's nice because I've seen with fan software in the past, you're kind of guessing like, oh, I think that lines up with whatever percentage that might be, and you're not really sure. So it's actually kind of nice how clear it is. That being said, it goes in increments of 5%. So if you're trying to be extremely specific about something, the smallest number you can get down to is an increment of 5. Another thing to note about the fan curves is that the ramping is not smooth, so it will jump from point to point. So if you're setting up a custom curve and you want your fans to slowly increase in speed, you're going to want to set a lot of points along the graph so that it has a lot of bumps, like a lot of different increments that it's going to go up as it speeds up, instead of having one point and then another point which is much higher, because it won't change until the temperature hits that much higher point, and then it will change the entire way up. It will not smoothly change to that speed. Just something to note if you're setting it up on your own. Another thing that caught my eye was a switch where you can change whether or not you're monitoring your CPU temperature or your GPU temperature. I thought when I first saw this, due to it being a fan controller, that the custom graph or whatever speed ramping graph you have for your fans would reflect the temperature that you're currently monitoring, so CPU or GPU, so you could position your fans differently around the case. That is not the case, at which point I don't really understand why it's a switch and why they didn't just have both of them being monitored at all points in time. The fan info on the right side of the software is very clean and very easy to read. I liked that a lot. You can see all of your fans at all points in time. You can see what voltage they're running at, what speed they're running at. It's nice. I would actually really like to have this on my radiator testing station so that I can make sure all my fans are running properly all the time. I do that anyways, but it's just slightly more of a laborious process. I personally am waiting to see something as feature-rich as a T-balancer, but then as aesthetically awesome as the CAM software that's running on these, because T-balancer's software is not awesome at all.
Speaking of whatever it is Luke was just talking about, I have no idea. I scripted this before he did his thing, so Intel is going to be at Nerd HQ, which is starting today, July the 24th. They have some awesome promotions going on during the event this year with a couple of their hardware partners and Operation Smile. First up, at newegg.com from July 24th to 28th, you can get $25 off select Acer products with offer code NerdHQ25. And second up, you can save $50 off select ASUS products with offer code NerdHQ50. So head over to the bit.ly link below to see the list of qualifying products. Now, discounts are great, but free is even better, right? If you tweet @IntelUSA, that's their Twitter handle, during the event and tell them why NerdHQ and Comic-Con make you smile and include hashtag IntelNerdScene in your tweet, you'll be entered in a draw to win an Intel Core i7 processor. But wait, there's more. For every tweet that @IntelUSA receives with hashtag IntelNerdScene, they will donate $1 to Operation Smile, up to a maximum of $5,000. So guys, get on Twitter and enter in the draw to win an awesome Intel processor and help Intel support a great cause. For full terms and conditions, check out the link in the video description. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video about the NZXT Grid Plus. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, leave a comment if you have something to say. And as always, check out the Support Us link in the video description. You can buy a sweet t-shirt. You can give us a monthly contribution to help us make videos like this. And then I'm sure there's a last thing, right? Yes, you can change your Amazon bookmarks to one with our affiliate code, so we get a small kickback whenever you buy hair gel. Or, sure, that's hair gel. Whatever, peace.